right. 17 years ago, this past Tuesday, then House Speaker Newt Gingrich introduced the Contract with America. The landmark document outlined the Republican Party's goals and is credited with leading the GOP to a congressional takeover. Today, Newt Gingrich is releasing a 21st century version of the 1994 proposal. A revised plan, he says, is a roadmap for getting the country back on track. And Newt Gingrich, who is running for president, joins us right now from my home state of Iowa and the capital city of Des Moines. Good morning to you, Mr. Speaker.
It's good to be with you.
It's great to have you.
And
I understand what you're going to do later today is unveil this 21st century contract with America. And one of the things, some of the things you're doing is you're going to give people new choices on how to buy health insurance, how to pay your income taxes, and to save for retirement, right?
Yeah, I think that the part of the solution for America is to get away from a one-size-fits-all bureaucratically defined government dominated by Washington and give the American people the right to have a series of choices that they may prefer that lets them pick what's better for them, not what some bureaucrat thinks is better for them. In addition, I think that the problems we're faced with, whether it's repealing Obamacare, creating jobs, developing American energy, all of these things need to be dealt with in a much more aggressive and much more comprehensive way. And people who want to can go to newt.org after about 2 o'clock today, and they'll see all of the details of this new 21st century contract with America, which is much bigger and much bolder than what I did in 1994 or what Reagan did in 1980. The reason is simple. We're in much more trouble today than we were back in 1994 or 1980, and we need much bigger solutions than we needed back then.
Mr. Speaker, the other day you were here in the studio and we were talking a little bit about Herman Cain. He's gotten some traction in the polls. We're going to put up the latest Fox News Opinion Dynamic poll, and you currently are in double digits. You're in 4th place behind Romney, Perry, Cain. Now, Herman Cain has got a lot of traction with his 999 plan. As I understand, one of the things you're going to suggest later today is 2 different income tax systems. People can either stick with the current income tax system or a flat tax. How would that work?
Well, let me just say, I can't go along with the idea of a federal sales tax at a time when they still have the income tax. So we've taken a different approach. I'm focused on the idea that you should have the right to choose. Rhode Island has experimented with this. A number of countries in Europe have done this. So you can either keep the current complex code, all the paperwork, all the complexities, or you can have a single page. Here's how much you earned. Here's what your tax is, and you get to decide which is better for you, and it's designed to be revenue neutral, something which Steve Forbes has developed over the last 10 years. I think it's worth the American people looking at. I think it's absolutely would help simplify the system. But we also outline a series of very dramatic tax cuts that would help get jobs created once again. We outline the steps we need to take to bring the budget back into balance, including the largest reform of the federal government since the 1880s. And we outline a very bold new approach on brain science, which with Alzheimer's, autism, mental health, Parkinson's, and a range of other things, we think would have an enormous impact, both on the lives of the American people, but also on federal budgets and private budgets over the next 20 or 30 years. So I think the contract is going to be a very comprehensive document that allows people to see not only what a Gingrich administration will be like, but gives you a sense of scale of what you should be measuring both the president and other candidates against, because the United States has got to do a lot of work to get back on the right track to be the most prosperous and the strongest and the safest country in the world.
And some of the themes you talk about in your, you will, as you lay it out there in Des Moines later on today, some of the themes are less taxes for people to pay, as you said right there, but a smaller government, because the way things are going right now, Mr. Speaker, we're headed for a much bigger government.
Well, that's why when I outline the concept of a 21st century contract with America, I emphasize that I don't ask people to be for me. That means they vote, go home, and say, I hope Newt fixes it.
Right.
I ask people to be with me, because this will be an 8-year struggle with the Washington bureaucrats, the Washington interest groups, the old establishment. But I think it's possible that you could be on a track in the very near future to smaller government, less power in Washington, dramatically more job creation, and greater freedom of choice for the American people. And that's a future worth fighting for, and it's a future worth campaigning for over the next year.
All right, very good. We'll be watching. Newt Gingrich joined us live from Iowa. Thank you, sir, for joining us with a little preview.
Thank you.